Good afternoon, everyone. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to take two related markets and understand the morning volatility in each of those markets to make better trading decisions using volatility as the day progresses. Now, for this example, I'll be using gold and silver, and we'll be using our futures volatility box models. And in today's case, we'll be really using just the scalper and the aggressive volatility box models. Now with the futures models, we have a grand total of 5, and today gold and silver really chopped in between the scalper and the aggressive models, and we'll take a look at what that looked like in each market right now. Now starting off with gold opens in the 5 to 6 a.m. Pacific hour, so that's the first full hour that we have to gather information around what the volatility profile looks like. Now inside of gold, as soon as the market opens, we see a sell-off, and that sell-off takes price action into our volatility box cyan line and even our volatility box clouds. Now, as soon as this happens, this triggers our first hour test. Normally, we'd be looking at the scalper volatility box as easy going. As soon as price action opens, it usually chops around in between our cyan lines. Now, in gold here, something different is happening where we're seeing a sell-off to begin the morning, and that sell-off is allowing us to gauge whether or not we're seeing buyers step in and defend this level right here. We need to see buyers take price action up the same distance what the cyan line to the outer edge of our clouds would be, which is about 3.4 points. The bulls try here, but they fail. We only get up to about 3.2 before price action ultimately reverses, and we see price action break outside of our clouds right here. Now, as soon as that happens, we're now getting information around the strength of the buyers inside of the market. And we're seeing that that strength is in fact not as strong as we would hope. We can't really be looking at scalping these levels. We need to instead be adapting to volatility and switch to our aggressive volatility box models. Now, using the aggressive volatility box models, we can see this is doing a much better job of containing the volatility we're seeing inside of gold. Now, the one breach that we have throughout the rest of the day inside of gold takes place in that 7 to 8 a.m. Pacific hour, where the sell-off finally exhausts this downtrend that we've been seeing. Price action breaches our cyan entry line. We get 2 edge signals, and we bounce from there. Now, once we got the edge signals, we unfortunately never had an opportunity to enter at the cyan entry line. We never got a retest where we could make sense of the risk to reward in a way that this trade was justified. Now we'll contrast this with silver, and you'll see how silver's a little bit different. If I switch to SI, inside of silver, let's get started with the scalper models first, and we'll start by studying the morning volatility. Now silver opens around the same time as gold, 5 to 6 a.m. is that first hour in which we can gather our volatility bearings. If you remember, inside of gold, we saw a sell-off that took us straight inside of the cyan lines. Silver, much different here. Silver, we're seeing price action chop in between the cyan entry lines like I described, which really gives us the green light on all scalp opportunities inside of silver until price tells us otherwise. Now, as we get into the hour in which the index markets open, we can see a little bit of volatility kick inside of silver. And after the markets open here, that sell-off takes place, silver breaches our cyan entry line, and price action one more time bounces from there, hitting what would be our first target before we get an opportunity to enter. So silver, no trade here, but we are seeing the scalper models being respected, helps give us additional confidence in the idea of the scalper. Now the next hour takes place, which is the 7 to 8 a.m. Pacific hour, and this is the hour in which we had the gold setup take place. Let's see what happens inside of silver. Now inside of silver, we see that sell-off take place where price just breaks straight through our volatility box clouds for the scalper volatility box models. Now this happens before we see an edge signal, so we have yet to see the rules of our setup being met, our fade setup. So this is still free information. We're allowed to adapt now to this new volatility we're seeing. So we break outside of the scalper, we switch next to the aggressive volatility box models. Using the aggressive volatility box models, this is doing a good job of containing price action. We have yet to break outside of the clouds. we get an edge signal while price is still respecting the aggressive volatility box clouds. You have an opportunity to enter not only at the sign line or better, but also a few opportunities to enter at the clouds, which allows you to cut your risk in half. The stop is outside of the volatility box clouds, which if you used an entry at the clouds is a risk of about 59, call it 60 silver ticks, but we used the sign entry line, and that's about 117 silver ticks. If I zoom out, silver doesn't hit that move in this rally all the way here if you use the sign entry line, but rather it takes all the way until this noon rally right here for us to finally hit our target. But if you had the better opportunity, then of course this nice rally here is your opportunity to take some profits. So hopefully through today's video, you understood gold's volatility in the morning, where we started with the scalper, and this morning test here is where we had our signs that, hey, the scalper's showing that, hey, we're a little too volatile to be able to scalp here. We need to switch to the aggressive volatility box. Silver took a little bit longer to adapt, and in that process, we did have one breach before the gold breach, which hit our sign line and hit the target. And in that second hour, we let price action dictate to us that, hey, we need to adapt to volatility. Remember, we're waiting for the edge signal here before we look for an entry. And this is officially our sign that, hey, we're officially now, in this case, in oversold territory. We have the green light to look for buyers to come in and pick price action back up. I hope you found today's video useful. For all futures Volatility Box members, make sure you downloaded the Sunday update from yesterday. And good luck with this week's trading. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in our next update.